July 31st, 2016. A brand new game called Çiftlik Bank launches in the Turkish App Store. The game lets you invest in your own farm. You know the drill: cows, chickens, and goats. But Çiftlik Bank is more than just a game. It's connected to the real world. On the app, you can invest your money in virtual livestock. By doing that, you automatically invest in real farms that actually exist, and the real produce of those real animals are then sold in dedicated farm shops near you. So Çiftlik Bank is not just about gaming. You can also make actual money and support farmers. Sounds too good to be true, right? Right. This innocuous young man is the brains behind the app. He fooled an entire country, scammed money from over 100,000 people, and disappeared with over $80 million. Where is he today?
80 million is crazy. A kid, bro.
How did he pull this off?
How the fuck did you do that?
Çiftlik bank oley, para kaynan çiftlik bank oley, koskocaman istihdam oley, çiftlik bank istikrar oley, çiftlik bank oley, çiftlik bank istikrar oley.
Damn.
We came across the Çiftlik Bank fraud through this article by journalist Paul Osterland. He did an incredible job in researching the whole story. You'll find the link to the article in the description. Mehmet Aydin grows up in Bursa. That's a major city in northwestern Turkey. His background is humble. His family doesn't have much money, so he drops out of school as a teenager and makes a living as a waiter and dishwasher. His actual dream is to become a famous rapper. He never makes it big, but he makes some contacts in the Turkish rap scene and meets an online game designer. The two become friends. Aydin is a big fan of the Facebook game Farmville. In 2016, he and his new buddy team up in his basement apartment and co-develop a Farmville clone. They call it Çiftlik Bank, that's Turkish for farm bank. The game is an instant hit. It attracts 50,000 active players within less than 8 months. The idea is simple. You start and manage your own farm. You use gold as a currency to buy animals, like chickens, goat, cattle, and bees. You earn cash back by selling the honey, eggs, and milk that your animals produce. You can then use the profits from these sales to buy more livestock, and so on. You can also pay real money to buy virtual gold and run your farm. And that's not just some pay-to-win model. If your farm does well and you make some proper virtual gold, you can exchange your virtual proceeds back into real money.
What the fuck?
Aydin has a groundbreaking idea. The money that players pour into the game will be invested in real livestock operations, and the profits from these real farms and products will flow back to the players. So Çiftlik Bank becomes a hybrid form between a video game and a crowdfunding platform for Turkish agriculture. Investments like these are in high demand at the time. Turkey's agriculture is struggling due to a number of factors. More and more products have to be imported. But Çiftlik Bank suddenly gives people a chance to directly support the country's entire farming sector. It all sounded way too good to be true, and it shows just how hard it can be to realize you're being thoroughly screwed and rubbed. Imagine you're sipping your morning coffee when you get an email confirming a purchase you never made. Panic sets in. You've been hacked. Your personal data can easily be stolen and misused. So-called data brokers collect and sell your details, from your name and address to your browsing history and even your online payments. Next thing you know, you're bombarded with spam calls, phishing emails, and in the worst case, unauthorized charges. Stress levels rise as you try to secure your accounts and reclaim your identity. It's a nightmare scenario that can happen to anyone. Incogni protects your privacy by contacting data brokers to remove your personal information and handling any pushback. Prevent data breaches from ruining your peace of mind. Use the code FERNTV at incogni.com/FERNTV to get an exclusive 60% off an annual Incogni plan. Always handle all your data online with care.
You got me.
In early 2017, Aydin goes on to launch the first 2 real-life farms near his hometown. He's hosting huge opening ceremonies. They're attended by a district governor and the local mayor. Aydin is a pop star at those events. Bodyguards have to shield the successful entrepreneur from his fans. Right from the beginning, Aydin's project is supported by some influential people. This commercial features the famous Turkish TV actor Mehmet Çevik. Çevik also acts as the company's press consultant. Within a year, more than 100 of these farm bank shops pop up throughout the entire country. They sell the products from the Çiftlik Bank operations. Here you can see cheese, honey, and sausages with the logo. Chiflik Bank players receive 5% of their profits in vouchers for these shops. You can choose the products in-game and pick them up at the nearest location. The rest of the profit is supposed to be real money. Say a player pays around $4,200 to buy 3 virtual beehives. He makes $840 per month off his bees. So within 1 year, our online beekeeper racks up profits worth over $5,800. At its peak, Chiflik Bank.
What the fuck? Off playing a damn game? Like, bro was like, that was genius. I'm not gonna lie. Bro was literally, if you think about it, bro was getting himself paid. Like he was getting himself paid, and then he was helping other people get paid too. So it's like, he really didn't have to hit the lick. He just wanted to hit the lick. That's what it was. He wanted to. That's crazy. You already had a good
half a million
bro,
active players.
He probably would have had
More
way
than
more money than what he
130,000
had
people
now.
invest their actual money. Some of them even take out huge loans to do so.
If he never did that,
a total of $250 million are poured into the game. Unfortunately, Chiflik Bank is a massive scam, a Ponzi scheme, and Mehmet Aydin is a fraudster. The products at the franchise shops may bear the logo of the game, but they do not come from the company's own livestock. Most of those farms are inactive and only serve as a front. In the beginning, however, players always get their money on time. But Aydin's pyramid scheme only works so long as it grows and attracts new players that put in new money. The money is then used to pay out profits to existing players. The company does extensive marketing and hands out commissions for bringing in new players. In late 2017, only a year and a half after the game was launched, things start getting messy. Players complain about false promises on social media, and financial regulators in Turkey put Chiflik Bank on their radar. The authorities become particularly skeptical when they find out that the company's bank accounts are held by a shell company based in northern Cyprus. Another Turkish authority, Turkish Ministry of Customs and Trade, starts looking into the company's finances. Aydin realizes he can't keep up his scheme for much longer. In December 2017, he suddenly sells his shares in the company. A month later, Chiflik Bank says it has suspended accepting new users. It also stops paying out profits. Rumor has it that the banks are refusing to work with Aydin's company after the complaints.
Damn.
Many players are furious and want their money back. Some of them have invested.
See, they caught on. That's what I'm saying. Like, you didn't even have to do that. You messed the whole player for yourself. You could have kept doing what you was doing, and then you messed it up for yourself. Bro would have literally been probably like a gazillion. I don't even know right by now if he never did that. You think about it. This is dealing with food. Like, come on, bro. Anything
invested
dealing
all
with
their
food,
savings,
that's money.
believing they could make profits and at the same time do some good for their country. News officially breaks in March 2018. Authorities determine that Chiflik Bank is indeed a scam. Prosecutors launch a criminal investigation. They issue a warrant for Mehmet Aydin and some of his employees. But Aydin has vanished into thin air. Interpol puts out a red notice for his arrest. Police forces worldwide are asked to track him down. It soon turns out that Aydin has fled to Uruguay, but he doesn't exactly lay low. He is seen driving around in his Ferrari. He posts this video. This is his private yacht. To pay for all this, Aydin stole millions from Chiflik Bank users, and he's been doing so long before running off to Uruguay. His former bodyguard says he frequently went to casinos in northern Cyprus to gamble and party hard. Now it looks like he just keeps living the good life down in South America, like nothing happened.
Damn.
12,000 kilometers away, the fraud story dominates Turkish media for months. Angry players raid one of the real farms and try to load the animals onto trucks. Aydin plays the victim and blames the Turkish state. He says he couldn't pay his players because authorities seized his company's assets. His former partners are busy apologizing to the Turkish public. This is actor Mehmet Çevik calling to apologize on national TV. Then the buzz around Aydin slowly fades away. In January 2020, private investigators figure out that Aydin may be hiding out in Brazil. A year and a half later, Aydin ultimately turns himself into the Turkish consulate in Sao Paulo. He's arrested and flown to Turkey 2 days later. A mob of journalists is waiting for him when he arrives in Istanbul. He's taken to court shortly after. Mehmet Aydin and his accomplices are facing long prison terms. And by long, we mean really long. Aydin is looking at a total of 89,000 years in jail.
$89,000? Bro, you meant, bro, 89,000? How did y'all come up with that number? That's why I don't, how is that even possible? I think that's tight. That's kind of like over exaggerating the number just a little bit. 89,000, like really? There gotta be taxes. No cap. That's what I'm saying. Bro, like what?
His Ferrari and yacht have been seized by authorities in Uruguay. He fled with $80.5 million, 322 million lira in cash.
Shit.
He returned with just $13 in his wallet.
How the fuck did you return back with just $13 in your wallet? What the fuck happened to the money? Did you spend all that money? Ain't no way. Did he gamble all that money?
It's absurd that Aydin was able to embezzle hundreds of millions of dollars in such a short time, while no one really questioned his rather unconventional business model.
Dog.
An entire nation believed in the seemingly groundbreaking idea of this seemingly innocent, boyish man. Supporting your country's economy by gaming and getting rich along the way sounded like a tempting offer, and many people blindly accept it. The golden rule of too good to be true holds true yet again.